Nicki don't need to worry about Don. She need to be with damn Don Lemon, and Nicki Minaj need to be worried about Chris Hansen. She needs to be worried.
Yesterday, U.S. Weekly broke the news that Nicki Minaj's house is at risk of being seized due to a lawsuit.
Under Trump's rules, she should be deported because I don't think, reportedly, that she is a legal citizen here. She is.
Every time it seems like Nicki Minaj has reached her lowest point, she somehow manages to go even further. The incident at Amphis with Erica Kirk wasn't just uncomfortable. It was a clear sign that bigger problems were unfolding behind the scenes. For a brief moment, it seemed like Nicki might call out Don Lemon. But once again, things didn't go as planned. She ended up looking awkward, and the public was left confused, wondering what had really happened. Leaked conversations now suggest that this whole drama wasn't truly about Don Lemon at all. According to insiders, the real issue has been money. Nicki has reportedly been snapping at anyone around her, and sources say the tension comes from her income not being as strong as it once was. Much of this financial strain appears to stem from one controversial choice: marrying and publicly defending a registered offender. That decision has affected not only her public image but also her finances. In fact, Nicki came dangerously close to losing her Hidden Hills mansion because of a lawsuit connected to her husband, Kenneth Petty. She reportedly had to pay nearly $500,000 just to keep the property. Instead of treating this as a serious warning, she continued her online presence, acting as if nothing significant had occurred. This ongoing behavior is exactly why commentators like DL Hughley felt the need to speak out. He emphasized that Nicki has far more pressing issues to handle than Don Lemon, especially since her husband's legal troubles are allegedly draining the fortune she has spent decades building. Some fans tried to spin the settlement as a win, since Nicki didn't lose her home. But in reality, being forced to hand over $500,000 because of your spouse's actions is hardly a victory. Kenneth causes the problems and Nicki ends up paying the price, a situation that doesn't reflect well on anyone. Adding to the speculation, people are now questioning Nicki's collaboration with Erica Kirk and the reports that she may be moving into spaces near MAGA, possibly as a way to recoup financial losses tied to her husband's legal issues. It all comes across as messy and desperate, and for someone of Nicki's level of success, watching her handle her legacy this way is disappointing. DL Hughley argued that Nicki doesn't deserve sympathy because these were choices she made herself, including supporting people who defend offenders. To understand how the financial issues began, it helps to look at the lawsuit timeline. In 2024, Nicki faced a default judgment of about $500,000 linked to a 2019 incident in Germany during her tour. Reports say she was involved in a dispute with a female security guard, and when another guard tried to intervene, Kenneth Petty stepped in. According to the lawsuit, the male guard, Thomas Whedon Mueller, claimed that Nicki directed Kenneth to handle it, and Kenneth allegedly struck him, breaking his jaw. Both Nicki and Kenneth were named in the lawsuit, but neither responded, and they left Germany after a warrant was issued. Because they didn't appear in court, the judgment was made against them by default. The guard later requested the court to enforce the judgment, including selling Nicki's Hidden Hills home to cover the debt. With sufficient equity in the property, the judge was reportedly ready to proceed with a forced sale. One day before this could happen, Nicki paid the full $500,000 to save her house. While it may have saved her property, it was not a true victory. It was a last-minute scramble caused by her husband's actions, and having a registered offender as a spouse remained a public embarrassment. Instead of addressing these real issues, Nicki turned her attention to journalist Don Lemon. He had been covering a Minnesota protest where ICE protesters disrupted a church service linked to Pastor David Easterwood, who also served as acting director of the St. Paul ICE office. Don was simply reporting the events live. Nicki, however, reacted emotionally without verifying the facts. She posted online calling Don Lemon disgusting, accusing him of targeting religion, calling him a thug, and suggesting he should be jailed, claiming he would never treat another religion the same way. In the end, the whole Don Lemon controversy appears to have been a distraction from much deeper personal and financial challenges. The combination of legal troubles, financial pressure, and public scrutiny is creating a situation where Nicki's choices continue to have serious consequences, far beyond the headlines she makes online.
So you can see the protesters here have gathered over here. They're in the middle of the church. During the beginning of the church service, the pastor was speaking, and Nikema stood up and said her piece, and then the protesters surrounded her. But this is a clandestine mission. I think they found out one of, according to them, this is according to Operation Pull-Up, that one of the pastors here is a member of ICE. And so here we go.
The post showed that Nicki Minaj didn't really understand what she was reacting to. Simply because a church was involved, she quickly presented herself as a defender of Christianity, but many people, including church-going fans, weren't convinced. Her sudden stance seemed inconsistent, as she hasn't always acted according to her own words or beliefs. Don Lemon didn't hold back in response. Speaking to TMZ, he said, "I'm not surprised Nicki Minaj doesn't understand journalism and comments on things she doesn't fully know." A more fitting image for that post would have been a toy doll. When Nicki demanded that Don be jailed, he replied in a video, pointing out that she should focus more on her own legal matters. He reminded people that Nicki herself has admitted in the past to being undocumented, which makes her criticism of others feel hypocritical. Nicki, born in Trinidad and Tobago, has publicly shared her immigration story. In 2018, while speaking against the Trump administration's family separation policy, she described arriving in the U.S. as a 5-year-old undocumented child and the fear children feel when separated from their parents. Those words are still on record. Yet today, Nicki appears to have shifted her stance, openly associating with certain political spaces and even praising Trump as charming. That change has raised questions about whether her financial situation is influencing her choices, or if she's simply lost perspective. Commentators like DL Hughley say this isn't surprising, given her history. Long before Kenneth Petty, Nicki defended people facing serious charges, including her own brother Galani, who served a lengthy sentence for a crime involving a minor. Her pattern of standing by controversial figures has long been part of her public image.
This is what I'll say to Nicki Minaj. I normally don't respond to things like this, but, F it. I'm going to do it this time. I think Nicki Minaj has made it very clear how she feels about African Americans in this country. I don't think she's one of them, obviously. And she should, under Trump's rules, she should be deported, because I don't think, reportedly, that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented. And so she has shown her disdain for African Americans. So why are you supporting her? Why are you buying her records? She's also supporting, I have lots of gay friends who love Nicki Minaj. Why are you supporting this homophobic, bigoted?
The case centered on DNA evidence. Yet Nicki Minaj went to court to ask for leniency for her brother. In a letter to the judge, she described him as patient, gentle, genuine, giving, and selfless. That letter became public, and it left a lasting impression on many people. Some now argue that this isn't a new version of Nicki at all. Perhaps this is simply who she has always been: loud, outspoken, and at times reckless. Commentators like DL Hughley believe she has far more serious problems to focus on than public spats with Don Lemon. Many are questioning whether her recent behavior is motivated by desperation, financial strain, or the ongoing fallout from supporting a husband whose actions continue to create costly problems. Looking at the pattern, it seems less like a sudden breakdown and more like the result of years of unresolved decisions finally catching up with her. Nicki has always been combative and unapologetic, but now the stakes are higher, and the consequences are visible for everyone to see. Financial pressures, legal issues involving her husband, and backlash from associating with controversial political spaces are all mounting. Instead of facing these challenges directly, she often lashes out at easier targets, including journalists and critics, making her situation louder and messier. Many observers are frustrated because Nicki is not powerless. She is a seasoned artist who understands public perception, branding, and media reaction. That is why her embrace of certain political talking points appears deliberate to some and reckless to others. It seems less about belief and more about survival. When artists feel their relevance fading or money tightening, they sometimes chase new audiences without considering the long-term impact, risking the loyalty of the fans who helped build their careers. DL Hughley's critique is sharp because it highlights a long-standing pattern. Nicki has repeatedly defended men facing serious charges, even when evidence is clear. While her loyalty may come from family ties, past trauma, or a belief that standing by others shows strength, outsiders see it as crossing moral lines, especially when vulnerable people are affected. The bigger question now isn't whether Nicki can recover financially or musically. It's whether she will take responsibility and reconsider her priorities. Public feuds, political stunts, and online fights only distract from more pressing issues. The lawsuits, property disputes, and backlash are warnings. Many agree that Don Lemon was never the real problem. The true challenge lies in Nicki facing the consequences of her own choices. This feels like a slow-motion unraveling that people predicted for years. Talent alone cannot shield anyone from poor decisions. Fame, money, and fans can delay the impact, but they cannot stop it entirely. What's happening now is not about one tweet or one argument. It's the result of a long series of decisions catching up, and the outcome could affect not only her image but also the legacy she has spent decades building.
Nicki Minaj's brother and his attorneys thought he would be walking out of court a free man today. Jelani Mirage was convicted last November of repeatedly.
When drama involves legal troubles or defending people who have done wrong, audiences respond differently. What once seemed bold can now come across as careless, and fans begin questioning judgment, not just personality. Nicki Minaj still has choices. She could take a step back, focus on her music, and protect her reputation. Instead, she often leans into controversy, as if conflict alone will shield her. History shows that approach only works for so long. Accountability matters, but Nicki frequently portrays herself as misunderstood. Publicly defending convicted individuals, minimizing harm, or attacking journalists sends messages she cannot fully control. Fans are noticing patterns and asking whether this is who she really is. Financial pressure likely makes things worse, mixing pride with panic and leading to questionable alliances. Her alignment with political spaces she previously avoided raises even more questions. Is this belief or survival strategy? Legacy is another factor. Nicki isn't just a star. She's a cultural icon who transformed mainstream rap and inspired countless artists. That's why missteps feel heavier. People expected growth, not defensiveness, and seeing her get caught in online feuds feels like wasted potential. Recovery is possible, but it requires honesty, self-control, and stepping away from echo chambers. Blind loyalty isn't strength, and protecting your legacy sometimes means protecting it from yourself. Don Lemon was never the real problem. The real issue is unresolved patterns and refusing to change.